Hello, YouTube, Facebook, Twitterville. I'm going to start a new web series, vlog, whatever you want to call it, the Bargain Bass Hunter. I'm going to just, show videos, things I like to do when I fish, tips, tricks, things that I find that I use very well. A friend of mine started calling me the Bargain Bass Hunter because I have a tendency to raid all the clearance sections of places that I go to. Bass Pro Shops, Academy, Cabela's, anywhere, Walmart, anywhere that has fishing supplies. And, I usually just tend to raid the clearance section. I do a lot of, online shopping too on eBay and stuff. I find baits all the time that I buy that are just cheap, So my friends started calling me the Bargain Bass Hunter. I think it's funny. I'm just going to do just things where I show you guys random things that I find for cheap that work very well. I'm going to show you guys just things of, tips, how to catch fish. If I don't find myself to be a master fisherman, but for some reason, the fish just flock to me. I catch a lot of fish. The last couple of weeks I haven't had much luck, but I normally do very well. So I'm going to start off the video by showing you a couple baits that I got the other day. I did some online research. I was looking on YouTube. There's a channel, Uncle Steve Fishing. He has his own YouTube name. I don't remember what it is off the top of my head, but just type in Uncle Steve Fishing on YouTube. The guy is, the perfect embodiment of a fisherman. He goes out with his cheap little Zebco reels and his cheap Shakespeare spinning rods and stuff like that, and he just catches all kinds of bluegill, bass, chain pickerel, catfish, carp. He catches everything. He has a great time while doing it, and I feel like that's what you have to do when you fish. I'm not one to tell everybody what you're supposed to do, but if in my opinion, if you're going out every day and trying to catch the big bass, and you won't stop until you catch that big bass, that's fine, but that's just not how I like to fish. That's just, in my opinion, not how you should be fishing. You should go out there, have a great time, catch whatever you want to catch, be done with it. But Uncle Steve said on a video one day that he went to Walmart during their bait bonanza sale, and everything was cheap. Things were just, on sale, and so I thought, well, I'd go check it out, and I didn't find anything really on sale until I looked at a bait box full of Lucky Strike, their little 4-inch twirl tail worms. Perfect for me because I love to drop shot. I just rig up so many drop shot rigs, wherever I go. That's my tried and true rig nowadays. I definitely recommend a drop shot to anyone who wants to catch good fish. Just having the bait suspended, off the bottom at some point, at a very, very, very steadily pace is a good way to catch big, small, whatever size bass you're looking for. So I went and got a couple colors. When I was about let's say 10 years old, if I'm not mistaken, I got a couple of packs of worms from my uncle for Christmas. I remember opening the box and seeing the color being called Tequila Sunrise, and I thought that was funny because my dad and my mom would always laugh about how some of my family drinks tequila, so I always just thought, that's weird, Tequila Sunrise, that's a weird color combination. And ever since then, it has just stuck with me. My uncle said, this is going to catch you all the fish in the pond and in the neighborhood. And it did. When I was 10 years old, I believed everything that my uncle told me when it came to fishing, but he never let me down with that. And I just remember following that for so long. And so I bought these Tequila Sunrise color. If you can't really see, they're like a purplish, like a violet kind of color, navy blue with violet mixed in. And then I just got the all black. When I'm fishing anywhere, let's say, anywhere that has just like really bad muddy water and it's just dirty and you can't see anything, just murky, black is my favorite color to throw there, because it just stands out in muddy water to me. I also like to use a bright like chartreuse color. Sometimes I'll throw a chartreuse color when I'm not getting many hits on the black, to see if I can really like bring out the fish, depending on what depending on what the conditions are. I like to do it that way. When I'm fishing with these little 4-inch worms, I got my rod here. I do a little drop shot. Right now I've got a trocar hook. It's about 1/0 or 2/0. These are not the best. Trocar hooks are very sharp, so they rip through anything that you put up to the test. And I give about 5 or 6 inches of tag line. A lot of times I'll change that to probably 8 to 10, just depending on the place where I'm fishing. If it's really, really, really deep, I'll give myself about 8 to 10 inches of tag line, just because I'd like to, have it a little bit farther off the bottom. But if it's like shallow, if I can see the bottom, if it's maybe 5 or 6 feet deep, I'll probably do 5 or 6 inches of tag line. Just, it just varies. The thing I like about a drop shot is, especially with these little 4-inch worms, is that having the bait suspended, from the bottom is just a great way to just land those lunker fish. Like I said earlier, it's a tried and true method for me. I swore by the Texas rig for so long. I still love the Texas rig. That is, in my opinion, a rig that everybody needs to fish. Everybody needs to do a Texas rig, needs to try it out. Everybody needs to put, it works with creature baits, it works with worms, works with lizards. I've done crawl baits. Everything works with a Texas rig when it comes to it. I've even, taken worms off of a Texas rig and thrown a live bait on the bottom and caught fish. Obviously a live bait, I'll catch something, but still, it's just funny to mention that. But I'm very, 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 very high supporter of the Texas rig. It's just my tried and true method. I just love it. I can't say it enough. It's something that I truly enjoy, and it's, I usually have one of my rods rigged up with a drop shot everywhere I go. I keep a rod rigged up with a drop shot. Right now on the rod I just showed you, I've got 14-pound Cajun line. It's monofilament. I find that for me, a drop shot works better in monofilament. I got a newfound appreciation for braid recently, but I still just like the way monofilament feels. Everybody says braid's better. It does work better. It's stronger. It's smaller than monofilament, so you can fill your reel up with more. But to me, the flimsiness of the monofilament, for some reason, I just like it more. The fish drag your bait better with a monofilament line. And since I've been using monofilament my entire life, it's hard to sway my ways. But it's just, simple. My favorite, I usually use 15-pound big game trilene, because normally where I'm fishing, I don't really need to have any more than that. I'm a bass fisherman at heart. I love to do freshwater fishing for bass. And so where I go, I don't need any more than 15. For a while, I used 10 to 12, but recently where I started fishing, there's bigger bass, so I put on 15 big game, and it works. I also wanted to show you guys, my grandmother sells houses, and so she sold a house not too long ago, back before winter, I think in the fall, and my grandfather helped her clean out the house with a bunch of people, and found a whole bag of like baits. A lot of it was saltwater, but he had a whole slew of freshwater baits. And I found these. These are little like 3-inch. They're cream worms. I got a bunch of different colors. The color that I've been using the most, which I ran out of, was like a banana color with like green, with like little bruises of green in there, and that's what I use the most. I definitely drop shot those. That works way better than I could have imagined. I like to buy the Spike It crawfish or garlic scent, and I usually just kind of spray a little bit on my bait. It does, that stuff serves a purpose. It definitely heightens the fish's senses. But in any situation, I feel like I can catch fish without it, but I still use it because, on rough days, I'm getting those bites, but I'm not really getting a solid bite. Spray that stuff on, and those fish hit a little bit harder, and I get a little better hits. So, I like to use these little 2 or 3 inch worms. Don't really know the size. I haven't measured them. I could eventually, but they're a good little worm, perfect for drop shot. When I drop shot, typically I don't use anything over a 6 inch, 6 inches. Mostly anywhere from the 3 to 5. I got these great Biospawn lures. Biospawn lures are fantastic. I got the Exo sticks. I think those are 5 inches. Those are perfect for drop shot, as well as these 4-inch twirl tails. Great. Come in a pack of 15. It was $1.56 for those worms. That you can't go wrong with that. It's cheap. They work. They're pretty durable. When I use a drop shot, I like to have a sense of the worm that I put on. If I can catch 2 or 3 fish before that worm is just completely blitzed, I feel great. And these little Lucky Strikes, I've used them. I've caught 2 or 3 fish on them, and now with the trocar hooks, the thing is, trocar hooks are a little more difficult. I had a pack of 6-inch Zoom trick worms, little black ones. Great. Like I said, black is just a great color for murky and even for clear water. I had a pack of black ones, and I was literally every 3rd cast I was making with those baits, they were flying right off the hook. So I really just had to take it off. I only bought them because I normally use the VMC drop shot hooks, and I get the size 1 or the size 2, and just depending on what the conditions are, I'll put on a different size. If I'm catching bigger fish, and I can tell that I'm missing a lot of bites, I'll put on the bigger size drop shot hook. And people always say, oh, the hook doesn't really matter, but sometimes, those bigger bass, they have a harder time getting those smaller hooks in their mouth. Put on a bigger hook, and the size definitely you can tell the size between size 1 and size 2. A lot of people say, oh, it's not much bigger, but it really is. And those VMC hooks, they have never steered me wrong. I've definitely enjoyed using those. So definitely like to use a drop shot. I participated in a tackle grab today, and I got a bunch of stuff that was very, very conducive to my drop shot habits. So I wanted to show you guys. These are made by, I think they're called Sierra Outdoors, Sierra Bait Company, something of the sort. They're little bass tubes. It's like a red with like a pumpkin seed color. They came in a pack of 4, just a little promo pack. Drop shot. I put it on my little drop shot rig. As you can see earlier, I've still got one of them left on there. Had a good time. I'm going to post at the end of the video. I'm going to show you guys, the fishes that I caught. I caught 2 bass. Had a not too rough of an afternoon. Just, I was kind of just doing a little slow fishing. It just rained a lot here, and I've always been told that after it pours down raining that it's a good time to go fishing, because it stirs up the fish, in some ponds it brings the oxygen levels back up and fish are more active. Recently after it's rained, I haven't really had that luck, and I've been kind of second guessing that revelation. The pond where I used to live, that was a great spot to fish after it poured down raining. I mean, I've gone out to that pond and caught 10 or 15 bass, but it just seems like where I fished the country club just it's not the same. But definitely these baits were definitely a good hit. They normally come in a pack of 8. This is a little promo pack of 4. Drop shot had about probably 7 inches of tag line, maybe 8. Definitely had some good hits. The first bass I caught was a small one, but I don't care. Bass is a bass to me. I definitely love catching those 4 to 5 pound bass, and bigger. But a bass to me is a bass, and I love it. They come with, it looks like a little bit of salt already injected, fortified. But I sprayed them with the crawfish and scent, and I mean it works. It attracted it. I don't feel like that was really the factor in why I caught them, but definitely did some damage. Had a good day. I'm gonna start trying to show you guys a few more things, give you guys a few more tips, pointers, let you guys know what I like to do to catch fish, and then hopefully I'll be able to show you guys some footage of stuff that I catch. I'm going to try and get a better camera, because right now I'm using a crappy camera phone. Try and get a better camera. I'm going to try and show you guys, some of the tips like I do when I'm out fishing, maybe show you guys a few shots of me casting and what I like to do. Man, I hope you enjoy this. This is going to be something that I try and do maybe regularly. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this every day or whatever, but I'm going to try and do this at least once a week, maybe twice a week, depending on what I can do. I got a lot of free time after work, and I usually spend it fishing, because I don't like to sit inside anymore and stare at the computer screen like I usually do at work. So this is going to be something fun for me to do, and maybe it'll be educational for you. Peace.